Plants looking a little dull, stunted, or even lifeless? Give them what they want. A fresh, high-quality compost will loosen up clay soils, feed your soil food web, and make your plants say, hell yeah.
All right, let's gather these materials. If you've got weeds all over your property, now's a good time to dig them up. These are an excellent nitrogen source that'll help your pile heat up real good. And the good news is you don't have to worry about the weed seeds germinating. Your pile's gonna get hot enough that it's gonna kill these seeds and you are in the clear. Time to cut that grass. Grass is an excellent nitrogen source at about a carbon to nitrogen ratio of 20-1, which is below what we're looking for in our pile. Pile should be around 30-1, and this will provide a nice nitrogen buffer to some of the more woody materials we're gonna be using. These vines are a little higher carbon to nitrogen ratio, back at about that 30-1, which is excellent. You're out there working hard, working up a sweat, so you gotta be eating good in the kitchen. And when you're eating good, save those kitchen scraps. Veggies, fruits, basically anything that's not meat or dairy is gonna be perfect for your pile. Coffee grounds, excellent source of nitrogen. Throw it all in the freezer and wait to unleash it on that pile.
Now that we got our nitrogens all sorted, we need a good carbon source. And I just happened to cut down this huge eucalyptus tree this past year, and we had the stump ground.
These wood shavings are somewhere around 300-1 carbon to nitrogen ratio, and these dried leaves are about 60-1. So a little more moderate ratio, but a great carbon source as well.
Now that we've got all our materials, let's make this pile. I'm gonna start with some greens. I might actually in a second grab my trimmer and trim some of this up so it's smaller pieces.
Breaking down your material as much as you can increases the surface area, which makes the decomposition process happen a lot faster. While I shred this pile, let's talk about alternating. You may notice I'm going green, brown, trying to get a good mix. That way we end up with a pile that doesn't have a bunch of nitrogen in one area and a bunch of carbon-rich sources in another, and you end up with more of an even decomposition. Give the pile water every once in a while. Keeping it moist will help break things down even further.
Hit it with some kitchen scraps.
As you may be able to tell at this point, this is a long process and probably pretty boring to watch. So let's see if we can speed this up just a little bit.
Shred it. Drop it. Drop it. Water it. Shred it. Water it. Spread it. Shred it. Shred it. Shred it.
Well, that was stupid. Anyway, the gist of this, just greens, browns, over and over again. Get a good mix. Looking back, I would have saved more food scraps. Would have helped heat the pile up just a little bit more. I was a little heavy-handed with the wood shavings, but all in all, it turned out pretty good. So, whatever. Forgot to mention earlier one more carbon source I had, which is the brown paper bags from the grocery store. So I shredded them up.
There you have it, our compost pile. It's built, it was a ton of work, but now it's here, and all we gotta do is wait. Day 4, pile's been breaking down. I've been checking in, moving the top layer, putting my hand in there, see if it's hot. It is still really hot, but we want to make sure this doesn't go too long. We give it some fresh oxygen in there so this doesn't become anaerobic. So we got our fork right here, and we're gonna mix it up. You see all that heat and steam coming up? We've already got some pretty solid breakdown. This is good stuff.
Time to remix this, get the outside of the pile in and the inside of the pile out so we have oxygen everywhere.
Now, if you got some extra kitchen scraps, now would be a good time to throw them in.
Finish turning the pile, hit it with some water if it's looking a little dry.
And that's it. We got it turned. Gonna give it another 4 or 5 days, let it heat up, and yeah, we're on our way. Wow, so hot.
This gives you a little idea of what the breakdown's looking like so far. Definitely seeing quite a bit more, and let me tell you, this pile was hot. You can see that steam coming off right there. That is certified heat. All right, you know the drill. Turn it and burn it. Just doing the exact same thing we did last time. Throwing a little more food scraps. Still want to add some good nutrient to that pile. Turn 3, no major updates here. Just adding more food scraps. The breakdown's going good, so stay on schedule.
That is exhausting, but yeah, you know the drill. Come back, turn it again.
At this point, you can start to see a pretty big difference. It's starting to look a lot more like soil. There's more life coming into this. You can see things moving around, getting fed.
Well, it's been a month and things are going really well, but today we really need to reassess the situation, as 30 days is roughly as fast as you could possibly make hot compost. So let's look at a couple things of importance. 1, is there still large material in your pile? If so, that means it's still got a ways to break down. 2, is there still a lot of heat when you turn the pile? Is it super hot in there? Is it a little warm? Where is the decomposition process? Because if there's not a lot of heat left in there, it means there's a pretty good chance that things have already broken down, the microbes have been doing their job. Oh yeah, this is still really hot. And finally, when you hold that material in your hand, does it feel like soil? Does it look like soil? What does it smell like? Does it smell fresh and earthy? It's a pretty good sign that your compost is either done or really close.
My batch is looking pretty good. Things are breaking down, but there is a lot of larger material. I should have shredded this more before I made the pile, but it's all good. I will be sifting the pile before I use it, and the pile is still generating heat. So all in all, this thing's not done, but we're on the right track. Let's get back to it.
That'll do. Turn 7. Done and done.
Turn 8, party peeps. Just letting the worms get after it at this point. And voila, look at that thing.
We're back. It's been 13 days, and that's a pretty long time. But this pile's been done hot composting for a while, and it's really just breaking down with worms and other things like pill bugs. So we're still in a good spot. You can already use this in the garden if you're throwing it as a topsoil or anything like that. But I really want to break this pile down as far as possible, because I'm going to use it to plant new things, and just want to give it as big a breakdown as I can. So let's go ahead and give it turn 9.
Besides some of the twigs and branches you can see, it really is starting to look like soil here, and we're getting to a pretty good place. Whee! At this point, the pile is looking real lively. There is a ton going on here, and it is looking real good. Tons of worms, tons of pill bug that are just having a field day, getting fed, enjoying themselves, and this is the start to a really happy garden. Look at these mother cluckers over here trying to eat up all my worms. The neighbor's chickens got into my yard, and they are tearing up my compost piles, trying to get after all the different bugs in there. You look guilty, buddy. You look real guilty.
We're back, and we're finally at the finish line. You'll see we got some aggregate material still here that we need to sift out, and yeah, let's get to it.
And there you have it, folks. 2 months of active turns, 10 total turns. And then I let it sit for about another 2 months, just hanging out, waiting for the right place to put it. And here it is, this beautiful olive tree that is in need of some fresh, beautiful compost to help it grow big and strong. Well worth it. What do you think? Would you do this at home? Are you doing this already? Got any questions, any tips, anything that you guys want to say? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you again sometime soon with another video.